It's your boy Jaysituated, back with another video. Now, obviously, you're able to tell by the title of this video, I'll be talking about the Tops Massacre that occurred 2 years ago. This is kind of a sensitive topic for me because when I say that was the worst day of my fucking life, like, I'm not exaggerating. But as I was editing, I realized I said something happened that specific day that I feel like was a sign that, I could actually do something when I come to YouTube or whatever. So I said it will make for a good story time. But without further ado, we better get into the video. But before I get into the story, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more vlogs, videos, and content like this. So if you're from Buffalo, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but let's say you're not from Buffalo. I'm going to fill you in on what happened. So basically, make a long story short, because it's a very long story, it was a white guy. He drove 2 hours from a little town called Conklin, New York, and came to a Tops grocery store, which is like 10 minutes from where I live, a 10-minute walk. He shot 13 people, and out of them 13 people that he shot, 11 were black. And it just so happened that my mom was there in the grocery store while it happened, but thank God she's still alive today. Also, at the same time that was happening, my grandma, she was taken to the hospital. And unfortunately for her, that was her last time, even being at our house, because she would later pass away 2 months later. Now, for me personally, that was supposed to be a great day. So before I started YouTube, my first aspiration was being a music producer. And it's not like I, gave up that dream or whatever. I'm just focusing more on YouTube at the moment. But anyways, my cousin knew this, and one of his friends, Jordan, booked a studio session, and it just so happened to be on May 14th. So me and him arrived, and we waited on them for at least a good 15 minutes, because you know how black people is, they always late. But anyways, we waited a good 15 minutes, they finally come or whatever. Then we get upstairs just to find out the guy who owns the studio, he's not even there, he's out of town, and he has somebody in his place. But the person that was in his place didn't know how to work the studio equipment for whatever reason, which I find kind of funny to this day, because how you gonna be like a studio employee and not know how the equipment work? But anyways, another one of his usual friends, Tyson, he eventually got it to work or whatever, and Jordan recorded one of his songs. After that was done and over with, me and Tyson, we was thirsty. So we went to the corner store, we started chopping it up. And it was like I knew this nigga forever, we just chopping about random stuff, about girls and stuff like that. And at this specific time, I was in a toxic relationship, so, I definitely had a lot to get off my chest in the moment. And then come to find out after talking to him more, his dad used to cut my hair. His dad was my barber that year. I don't go to him no more, but his dad was my barber. And right after he told me that, that's when his dad had called, make sure he was okay. And he proceeded to tell him that somebody wanted to toss with a gun. Now, I'm not gonna lie, where he lives, stuff like that kind of happened, so I didn't think too highly of it at first. So we go back to the studio. The studio session is done, so we were just walking around, we were just vibing, and whatever we was doing, we were just having fun. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was pretty much vlogging the whole thing, because they had like a little music group or whatever, I wanted to contribute as much as I could, especially because, it was my first time, meeting them, stuff like that. So we just vibing and having a good time, and eventually we found ourselves at a Burger King, and I remember this just like it was yesterday. What happened after that, Jay got a phone call. Matter of fact, no, we was all on our phones, and then that's when we seen like the agenda he had and how he live streamed it. That's when we know the severity of the situation, plus the perpetrator's agenda towards black people and everything like that. And then Jordan, his mom called and said that one of his friends was shot. I remember thinking, oh wait, I'm not for sure my mom was there. This is not something I'm necessarily proud of. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but my mom, she worked at the Tops on Jefferson. So my instant reaction was to call her, and I ended up calling her. And without her even having to say exactly what happened, I already knew, because like when my mom's like upset about something, or she's getting ready to cry, or something along the lines, she has like this shake in her voice. So then she proceeds to tell me like she heard the AR-15 like spraying directly behind her. Her instant reaction was to run. But my mom, she getting up in age, she can't run like she used to. And then she said she went out the back door and she called my uncle. At first he said he was busy, but when she told him what happened, he shot there in like 5 minutes, even though he said he was like on the expressway or something at first, like 15 minutes away. But he made sure he got there. Mind you, it's the same uncle that dropped me off in the studio earlier in the day. On the same phone call, she proceeds to tell me that my grandma, she was taken to the hospital. And that was her last time, like I said, being at her house. literally at the same exact time this was going on. Now my grandma, as all grandmas do, she helped raise me. She the one who told me about God, gave me life advice that I still, think about to this day. And I remember when we was little, me and my cousins, we used to have a choir rehearsal with her. I wouldn't necessarily call it a choir, but it was, me and my 2 other cousins. And we used to have to rehearse these songs and stuff. Now, at the time, we used to hate it, but those are the memories that we could never get back. I still think about that a lot. And, yeah, I miss my grandma. And I feel as though I might have had a spiritual connection with my grandma, because I remember the month before the Tops shooting, I had like a dream, and it was like towards the end of it, because I woke up like literally right after. All I remember is I remember seeing a crow on a gate, and then 2 days before she passed, I would show the screenshot right here. 2 days before she passed, I had the same exact dream, and I remember searching it up, asking like, what that mean, because it was kind of weird. And it was like 2 years ago, so I might have been like 15. Yeah, I might have been 15, going on 16 at this time, so I didn't know about stuff like that. But come to find out, as you could probably read right here, the meaning of crow signifies that a death is coming near. And 2 days later, I'm sure her obituary right here, she ended up dying. So I feel like, maybe she was trying to contact me, let me know that she was making her transition. And another thing I want to point out is that, like I said, literally same exact time the shooting occurred, my grandma was taken to the hospital, which leads my grandpa to believe that my grandma's spiritual side was intact. She protected something from happening to my mom. Now, I ain't gonna lie, like during this specific time, I held some grudges against my mom, because not all families is perfect. I experienced some things as a child that I'm not too appreciative of. In the moment, all that stuff didn't matter, because she could literally just went, and I didn't know what I would do with myself if something like that happened. I don't know, like that day is just something I would never want to experience again. And I remember this day being a real eye-opener for me, because I didn't think like this type of racism still existed. This was stuff I read about in books when I was in school and everything like that, like in the 60s and everything. But lo and behold, it still exists, and it reached my own neighborhood. And I never thought something like that would happen close to me and close to my family, because like I said, my mom could have died if she didn't get out in time. And it's crazy, because you would think people realize like we all the same, we all bleed the same blood, but people seem to have certain agendas towards certain people. That's just the world we live in, unfortunately. What I want you to take away from this is that racism still exists, and it's very unfortunate that it still does to this day. And it's not even just with black and white people. You have people that are racist towards Muslims and Hispanics. Racism isn't just a black and white thing, it's a every ethnicity, nationality thing, and it's very unfortunate that we still gotta deal with it to this day, even though we all come from the same place. Another thing I want you to take away from this is enjoy your family members while you can, because you never know when they can go. They could go just like that. Before my grandma passed, she wasn't in the best condition. I remember seeing her from time to time, and she wouldn't even remember who I was. And that's kind of why I didn't really see her as much. That's something I kind of regret. As far as my mom, like I said, me and her didn't always have the best relationship, because I held grudges against her from things that happened in my childhood. But like I said, she could have just went just like that, and it would have been over for me. I don't know what I would have did after that. So let me know what you think about that story in the comments below. I will be putting my little essay that I was talking about in the description below if you want to read more about this story. I just gave it like a brief summary about it, but I feel like the essay goes in more detail on like what I was feeling and how I actually reacted to it. So yeah, that's it for today's video, because I don't want to, like, the more I get into detail, the more it's going to like bring back like flashbacks, and that's something I kind of like buried away, but I brought it back out for this video. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos, content. That's it.
I appreciate everybody coming out. Grandma's been real good to all of us. I miss her dearly, and everybody can come out and commemorate her birthday. She would have been probably like 90.
Like 95?
98 years old. 98 years old.
Her sister Palmer, some of us, she helped us to grow up into the young men, the young women that we are. Some of us know about the switch, and we know about the extension cord. And as far as I'm concerned, sometimes getting knocked up in the head. But some of us even remember her medicine. If you were sick, she know how to get these They had to go to the drugstore, but DC
y'all know about that.
said it.
We're so young.
Happy birthday, dear grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Better go.
Grandma!
Come on!